everyone! So this week I thought I'd give you a living room tour because it's almost done. In fact, the only thing that needs to be done is some laminate beading, if I've got that right, I don't know. But it actually got finished before the kitchen, which we didn't expect. So I couldn't wait to finish it, and I thought I'd just show you what I got. So if any of you read my blog post last week, I actually went to B&M and me and my fiance, we bought 3 big picture frames. And to be honest, I didn't really want 3, I just wanted one focal point, so it was behind the sofa. Sometimes I just think less is more, and by the time you've got all your pictures, it can, well, I was worried about things looking really cluttered, but because they've got personal value, I do really like it actually. That really surprised me, and B&M was so cheap. I think one picture frame was £1, but I've actually left that for another room, and the other ones were $9.99, and I think one might have been $12.99. They're really lightweight, so somebody might think that they're quite tacky because they want a really solid feel, but I quite like the lightweightness because I know if it's going to drop on the floor, it's probably not really going to break, you know, it's not going to shatter. And I had loads of holiday photos from all the camping trips that we've been on. So me and my fiance went onto Google and we went onto the photo section where it automatically backs up all your photos, and we created a shared folder, and so we just saved all of our favourite photos into those, and then we could just download them straight into a file. And in the end, I actually found that TruePrint was the cheapest because Woucher had a great deal where you paid £3 to get 200 free prints. Although we didn't have 200 prints, we just had about 120, let's say. And then it cost another £3 in postage, which I thought was pretty good because it would have cost us £21 otherwise. So £6, I thought it was a massive saving. And we ordered a couple of others. In fact, that's why it cost a little bit more, because we needed some bigger prints for the central piece. And they arrived in a matte finish, and I was pretty impressed with the quality. A little bit of me does regret not actually photoshopping all of the pictures, but there were so many, I just didn't want to do it. And that sits directly behind the sofa, which is behind me now, which is a really cool focal point to the living room. So I'm really happy. It is really starting to feel like a proper home. Then on the same day, we actually went to the skip to chuck out a load of rubble. Now, if I ever see any proper real wooden pieces that I can just shabby chic, I just can't leave it in a skip. And I actually dug this piece out of the skip. It's probably an old CD rack, and I just thought I'm gonna shabby chic this. And I didn't have anything in mind for it, I just loved the little compartments, and I thought if I put little drawers in there, it just looked very methodical. I just thought it was cool. I did need to get my hammer and nails out, and my dad would be so proud of me because he's a carpenter, and I ended up just briefly sanding it so the paint would adhere to it better, go over it with a damp cloth, and then give it 2 thickish coats of white emulsion paint, just bog standard paint that would go on your walls, and I went over it with the finest wire wool. It did go everywhere, but I knew I could just hoover it up. And you could actually seal this with wax. I didn't bother because I knew I wasn't going to be using it that much. It's not going to have loads of fingers on it. So in the end, we thought we'd just use it to display our fancy Denby cups, and it went straight underneath our clock. Now the clock, I think this is an absolute bargain. It costs $4.99 and it's a copper look from B&M. Where can you get a clock for $4.99? You can't even get that at a charity shop these days, particularly when it looks like copper. And I had to have that, and I love as well that the woodwork that shows through my little Denby set reflects that as well. And then I found a perfect home for my TV lettering. I couldn't resist those because I saw Fleur Divorce pick those up for her office, and I thought, oh, I've got to have those. They just look so cool, and I've never been able to put them anywhere, but now I've finally found a place. And then I also picked up a fabulous copper bin. I think it's about 30 litres, I could be wrong, but it was $19.99. And it's just nice to have the little footstool that actually works. The last one, it just packed in, and I was just so sick of the last one because it just looks streaky all the time, and I had it quite a few years and it just looked grotty, so that is completely gone. But the only downside with this bin is when you put your bin liner in, you can see it, and I really don't like the look of that, and there's no way I'm putting my rubbish directly into a bin without it lined because that would just be gross and it'd go everywhere. Then onto the sofa bed. Now this was actually from a charity shop. It was from a warehouse charity shop and it cost £100 and it's in absolute pristine condition and the quality of it was fantastic. It's the best sofa bed that I've ever had. But when I picked it up, I thought it was actually grey because I'd always wanted a grey sofa. But when I got it home, it was a mushroomy brown. So because it's a softish colour, I didn't want to take it back. I do still love it. And it's so easy to pull out and it's really sturdy. It actually feels like a John Lewis kind of quality. But most of the time I actually put our old grey IKEA quilted throw over it because the dog's paws are just gross this time of year. It gets really muddy and there's no way I want to be just scrubbing my sofa. And the green cushions are fantastic quality and believe it or not, they were actually 30p for the two and I had to get them because they also look new. And it was funny because my friend on Facebook the other day was saying that her mum has got the same cushions and they were 25 quid each from Next, and I totally believe it. They really aren't tatty cushions and I love how they just pop on the sofa. And that leads me to the patchwork quilt that I absolutely love because I made it myself and it was easier than I thought it would be, and it was from a book called The Gentle Art of Quilt Making by Jane somebody. I always forget that person's last name. I'm so sorry if you are watching. I really highly recommend giving it a go. As long as you can sew straight lines and you can cut straight pieces of fabric, by the way, a rotary cutter and a Omni grip board is it would just cut your time in half. Definitely give it a go. I think it took me about 3 or 4 months just doing a few evenings, and I didn't do it at weekends, and that will be our family treasure. I'm not giving that away. Please just don't burn in a house fire. Then another fabulous find of mine was this Danish teak Scandinavian style Nathan corner unit and extra cupboard. This was actually £30 for the set. It was from the same charity shop that I got the sofa bed from, but at a different time. The problem is, when you're looking for something specific, well, you've got to be looking all the time. The chances are you're probably not going to find it there and then, but you need to just keep your eyes peeled until you do find the things that you want. And it does need a bit of a sanding, but I'll probably get around to doing that eventually and get some teak oil. And the corner unit, we keep our blankets in for now, and then I'm a bit sneaky, I use the other unit just to put my camera and any sort of editing pieces in there. Then I actually picked up this graduated brown rug from a jumble sale for £2, and it's wool, and I absolutely love this rug. It doesn't offend me in any way. It's a really subtle colour and it goes well with the laminate flooring we've just had put down. And then I picked up a huge plate charger. I think it's IKEA, but I think I bought that for 20p from a jumble sale, and I just placed my yucca plant on there, which I got from Wilko's for about £5. And then I've got a really cool family portrait that I got for Christmas off my brother and sister-in-law, and absolutely love it, with a little dog on it, and just an old IKEA lamp that I've had for quite a long time, and one of those energy saving monitors. I would show you my desk area in front of me, but it's not a pretty sight, and to be honest, the table it's on, we're going to sell it. It just doesn't fit. And I suppose that is the beauty of, if you do buy second-hand furniture, you could always just sell it later on if you're not quite sure what kind of theme you're going for. But I can't not show you the big TV that's in the corner of the living room, because we do like to watch telly, and that was from Tesco's on one of those big sale days. So there you go. I hope you've learned something, and if you've got any tips for me, then post them below, because I'm always looking for money saving ideas. And hopefully next week I will come back with a recipe video. I don't know, I've got a lot on my plate at the minute and a lot of projects that I'm working on. So I'll love you and leave you for this week, and don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you like this video, and hopefully I will see you next week. Right, thanks for watching, bye!